Predator at Six Flags Darien Lake is considered by many to be one of the roughest wooden coasters on the planet. But that may be changing. Great Coasters International, or GCI, will be installing their brand new steel track on Predator, transforming it into a hybrid roller coaster. In this video, I will discuss the benefits of the GCI steel track, why Predator may have been selected for this conversion, discuss how much a Predator may be converted, and discuss when we may see these changes. Almost exactly a year ago at the 2019 IAAPA trade show, GCI unveiled a prototype of their brand new steel track. And this steel track has several benefits. One, it can replace high-stress segments on pre-existing coasters, thus smoothing them out. 2, it can reduce maintenance frequency. 3, it can allow a coaster to perform all new ride elements that GCI said you previously couldn't do with their wood track, such as launches and inversions. This track is a full rivet-based system with no welds, which will help to provide a nice smooth ride. And this may sound similar to Rocky Mountain Construction's iBox track, and it does have many similarities. And these similarities are why the prospect of GCI converting Predator is so appealing. To date, there has only been one installation of GCI's steel track, and it was a small test segment on the return run of FunSpot Orlando's White Lightning. White Lightning wasn't rough by any means, so the steel track wasn't necessary. But GCI has a great relationship with FunSpot, so it wasn't too surprising the company would test their new track there. Not only did GCI demonstrate they could successfully add the steel track to a pre-existing ride, but the coaster was able to seamlessly transition from the wood section to the small steel section back to the wood section. Predator originally opened in 1990 at Darien Lake. This Din Corporation wooden roller coaster got great reviews when it originally opened. Enthusiasts loved the coaster's setting alongside the lake and the abundance of airtime. But the coaster quickly tore itself apart and became rough, unbearably rough to many. The owners of Darien Lake have tried to an extent to fix Predator. It received quite a bit of retracking in the mid-2000s, and in 2010 it received an old train from Holiday World's Voyage. But the coaster never ran like it did when it originally opened, so all the track work since have just been band-aids. Now I've ridden Predator on 2 separate visits in 2010 and 2019. In the very front, and the very front alone, I actually enjoy Predator. The coaster has a great layout with plenty of airtime, and it's tolerable up there from a roughness standpoint. However, if you ride Predator in any other row, it will beat you up. You still get the airtime though, but it's hard to appreciate that airtime when you're getting jackhammered into submission. When 11 out of 12 rows give a brutally rough ride, it's clear that something probably should be done, and Six Flags seems to agree. We know GCI is putting steel track on Predator. What we don't know is how much steel track is being added. Are they only adding steel track to fix the roughest sections on the ride? Or are they adding steel track start to finish, effectively converting Predator from a wood to a steel coaster? Considering just how rough this coaster has gotten over the years, I am leaning towards the latter. However, Six Flags could spread the work over a few years if they so choose, initially starting with the worst sections and phasing in more and more steel track each year until it's fully converted. But I think that's tied to the next question. Will GCI and Six Flags change Predator's layout in any way? I personally think Predator has a great layout as is, and the rave reviews the coaster received when it originally opened are evidence of that. The coaster just needs to be retracted and smoothed out for the layout to be appreciated. But Six Flags loves gimmicks, and if they are paying for this retrack, I imagine they may want a way to market it. So naturally, I'm wondering if they'd have GCI add an inversion somewhere into the layout, keeping most of the coaster the same outside of that one inversion. This brings back memories of the Lake Monster concept that Herschend pitched for Predator almost a decade ago. In order to do this, Six Flags would need to purchase all new trains for Predator, and I imagine they'd retract the entire layout at that point, which would raise the immediate cost of the project. If Six Flags were to complete an extensive retrack that pluses the ride, I imagine they'd start marketing it the off-season prior. To date, Darien Lake has not promoted this track work. The confirmation came in an article on the Daily Item, mainly focusing on GCI steel track, and there was just one sentence confirming the track work on Predator. So my guess is that Six Flags will perform a partial steel retrack on Predator for the 2021 season to test the concept. And depending on the results, I think they could continue with the steel retracking, possibly adding an inversion to the layout in future years. For reference, when Six Flags originally tested RMC's topper track on the original Cyclone at Six Flags New England and the original Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, they retract small sections. Those sections did in fact ride quite smoothly afterwards. However, the rest of the ride was so rough that Six Flags ultimately decided to go for a full RMC iBox conversion shortly thereafter. So there is precedent to Six Flags starting with a small section and then deciding to do something more extensive afterwards. And this GCI steel retrack is something I hope that Hershey Park is watching quite closely, as they have the original GCI and Wildcat. This coaster has been floated as an RMC Iron Horse candidate for a few years, but much like Predator, I think this coaster actually has a really good layout. It just needs some TLC. So if this steel track works well on Predator, I would love to see Hershey Park added to Wildcat as well. Those are my thoughts on the GCI steel track and its implications for Predator at Six Flags Darien Lake. What are your thoughts on GCI's steel track, or the changes that you think could be coming to Predator, both in the short term or long term? I would love to hear what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a like and considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.